Hello and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2 Dev Diary number 8. Today we are talking about climate and seasons in Cities Skylines 2, and I can't wait for it because it's probably one of my most favorite subjects that I've been waiting for a long time. And let's dive into it because I think I've spoken too much already.
Life in a thriving city can be a whirlwind.
Love all the
Sunny moments
flakes
of joy
already.
and laughter can cloud over as stormier times roll in. It's impossible to forecast. Luckily, the weather in your city will be more predictable, as each map has a unique climate with reliable seasonal patterns.
One thing to notice that I just seen is, do you see this tree over here? How the branch is actually a little bit different from all the other ones. It's quite an interesting tree. I'm very keen to see all the types of trees that we have because we've seen a lot of these trees that are here. I don't know what they are. Maybe there are some pines in the mix as well. I think this is some sort of pine, but that looks pretty cool.
With reliable seasonal patterns. Maps in Cities Skylines 2 are inspired by real world locations, so your city's climate will be unique to that place. The climate dictates how
It says that it is inspired by real world locations, and I just figured out that we also have my hometown here in the game as well. One of the maps that is called the Barry Island is actually based in Brisbane, and I'm so excited. Guess which map is my favorite?
the climate dictates how each of the four seasons looks and feels. As one season gives way to the next, the length of the day will change. The amount of sunshine and cloud cover will too.
That's very important. So, depending on the season you have, the length of the day will be different, and the amount of light that you may receive also is affected by the cloud coverage, which means it can affect solar power, for example, and change the way how your citizens behave. We'll see a little bit more about how they behave a little bit further in the video, but I think that's a very interesting game mechanics because obviously I wasn't expecting that, and I'm really excited to see how that actually works because yes, so you have clouds that change depending on the time of the day or the season, and that affects how you play the game. So it's really, really nice. Another mechanic that is added to the game that might change how you play your city.
Temperatures will vary, and so will precipitation. Why is this so important? Well, weather will impact your city in different ways. Rainy, snowy, and sun-soaked days can pile pressure on your electricity grid. Same for city services, which will need to respond. Like in winter, road maintenance crews power up plows to clear the road network of snow
Before we go any further, one thing that was bothering me before I stopped to think about it is these trucks like stopping in the middle of the road to do maintenance, right? But then I start thinking, how does that happen in real life? Like you do have truck like this who come, they'll block the road, put like some cones or barriers along the road, and they will work on that section of the road and then move away. So I think as a game mechanic, this is actually better because they just temporarily stop and then away they go without like taking too long. And that changed my mindset about that and how I actually like or dislike that functionality in the game. So I'm okay with this now. I'm over it. I think after the first shock about that, it's not there anymore, and it makes a lot more sense for me.
respond. Like in winter, road maintenance crews power up plows to clear the road network of snow before it causes collisions. If city services don't respond in time,
Hold on, look at what I found in there. What is that? Look at this little dog. It's like the dog is there. There is no one with the dog. It's just like by itself. To have like, I don't know, lone dogs roaming through the city. That's really interesting. I don't know if that's just a bug or maybe even a prop that is just there, but that's really cool, actually.
Respond in time or do what needs to be done, accident rates can rise with the knock-on effect of overstretching emergency crews. Seasonal weather also affects how people move around your city and where they spend their time. Parks will draw crowds when the sun is out, while restaurants, movie theaters, and other indoor spots will get busy fast when it rains.
So very important effect of the climate in there. So sunny and rainy, that will affect what your citizens will prefer to do. So they can go outside in sunny days, and they might prefer indoor activities during rainy days or seasons or time of the day. So commercial buildings make a big role on those areas, and obviously having a parking or a park network, I should say, is also very beneficial if you have a sunny environment or a more temperate climate.
Of course, extreme seasonal weather can turn life upside down in a flash. You can help your city prepare for natural disasters with disaster control systems.
Just want to take a quick look at the menu here, because this is the first time that we are seeing climate and season. So we are putting down a shelter, so you have a shelter availability, the shelter capacity in the city. You have disaster prevention facilities across the map, emergency shelters, evacuation buses, coverage for the shelter on the network color, so the color of the roads, destroyed buildings, they are the black buildings, and building damage. As you can see, you have some damaged buildings everywhere in the city, especially if you look further down over there. Interesting, there is another shelter in here as well.
Disasters with disaster control systems, but there's no stopping them. Your city might experience disasters with a lowercase d. That's when disasters cause traffic accidents that clog.
Hold on, look at this. Every time I see these videos, I find something new. First of all, this car is spinning out of control, like awesome. There is another car, like just flipped over there. And then you have on the highway someone walking with two dogs in there again. I'm very impressed. It's like the wrong place for walking. I'm pretty sure this is a bug. I don't think that person is even walking. Doesn't seem. Oh, it is. Yeah, I can see the legs moving. So they are walking there, but I don't think this is a sidewalk for people to actually walk on highways. So I'm not sure if this should happen, but yeah, I find that quite nice. Oh, and we have a person on that motorcycle now. Yay! That seems to be fixed. Good, very good.
That's when disasters cause traffic accidents that clog road networks. Disasters with a capital D are a whole lot more serious. They impact city services and the local.
So this is important. These icons are buildings that are being damaged by bad weather. So potentially, I think that is the tornado that they just showed us, and it will damage your building. I have more information about that, but I'll talk about that after the video.
Economy in the short and long term. As a city builder, it's up to you to help your city bounce back when nature is a bit extra. But for the most part, seasonal changes will be predictable. Winter will run its course and give way to spring, just as night will follow day. The day and night cycle connects to the calendar. When a day-night cycle ends, one calendar month will have passed. So every 24 hours, a month of the year will have come and gone. The seasons will.
So that is very important. Every 24 hours in the game. So if you look at the bottom there, you have October 2025. Every 24 hours, then move 1 month. And obviously 24 hours, you have the cycle of day and night. And then following to that, I think she hasn't said anything in the video yet, but following to that, every 3 months is a different season. Obviously, every 12 months, you go through all the seasons and you go back to the first one. So that's how the game works. Also, there is an additional piece of information there. The game velocity or speed, you have 3 speeds in the game. Normal speed, basically, one day is roughly an hour in real life, and the speed 3, one day is a third of that. So you can do the math in there, but this is basically how long a full day will work in the city.
Change after 3 cycles. And after 12 cycles, it's time to start all over again. The citizens of your city will experience life's highs and lows like
Another thing that I just found out in there, you see that they are running, right? But they are not just running. If you look at, let's say, this person in here, they are just walking, and then all of a sudden you see the 3 of them starting to run at the same time. And you can see this woman in here as well. She's walking and then run. And I believe they run when the lights change. So if the light's about to close, they will run to finish crossing a little bit faster. And I found that fascinating. I really, really like it.
Citizens of your city will experience life's highs and lows like the shifting seasons. Good times and bad will come and go. By building your city's unique climate, you can create the backdrop for life lived to its fullest.
I just love it. Like, I think that is a lot that will affect the game based on just the climate or the theme that the map is based on. So obviously, as we've heard before, and just confirmation that all the maps that we currently have, they are based on real world locations. For example, the Finnish countryside or Brisbane, which is where I live in this southern hemisphere. Other than that, we also heard that there are differences in the length of the day and the amount of sunlight, as well as other elements such as temperature range, amount of cloud coverage, and precipitation based on the climate. So that would be really, really nice. There are also 3 basic climate types, which will act as a foundation for each map unique characteristic. And a foundation, just because it will depend on the setup of the map. People can, if you get a map on the workshop, for example, people can set the range of the temperature that is slightly different, and that can change how that map behaves as well. But the climates that you can find are the temperate, continental, and polar. So temperate, they have very distinct seasonal changes. They have moderate precipitation and a wide range for the temperature. The continental climates, they introduce significant annual variations in the temperature. And the polar, they have very short and cold summers and a very long-lasting cold winter. I think in terms of the maps based on real life as well, I mentioned Brisbane before. That is the River Delta, which is based on Shanghai, and Lakeland is actually based on the Finnish city of Savonlinna. It's also worth mentioning that there is a diverse intensity of rainy weather, different cloud coverage, and temperature change as well. We also mentioned that depending on the rain or sun, it might affect the citizen behavior when they're deciding to go to a park or an indoor leisure activity. Talking about disasters now, I think this would be one of the main questions from everyone. Can you switch disasters on and off? Yes, you can when you start a new game or when you load an existing save. So you can play with it just to see how your city behaves with disasters, and if you don't like it, you can turn that off, or vice versa. So as you just have to be mindful that it can only happen when loading the save or creating a new game, obviously. Now, one other thing that we do have is an event journal. So on the bottom right of the screen, there is a little bit of a journal page in there. This is your event journal. You can find all the past events in your city in chronological order and information about what happened, when it happened, and what the outcome of the event had. So, for example, if you had a tornado, so when that happened, what actually happened, like the tornado itself, and what was the outcome. The outcome, I just don't know yet what that might mean, but what I'm thinking is that you might be able to see, for example, how many buildings were damaged or something like that. In terms of what natural disasters are included in the game, I think I saw some questions about that as well. So you have forest fire, that is the first one. You have hailstorm, that's the second. And the third and final is the tornado. So those are the three natural disasters that come with the game and that you can expect to see in the game. One extra information about disasters is that obviously you can have the small and large emergency shelters, and the large emergency shelters, they actually have evacuation buses, and these buses are deployed at the same time as the evacuation order. The evacuation buses, they will also plan their own path based on the population density. They will prioritize schools, medical clinics, and hospitals. So again, a little bit of a smarter mechanics in there, prioritizing places where you usually would prioritize in those situations. So makes a lot of sense, works for me. Very interesting game mechanics. I might try that out to see how that works in the game and how often that happens as well. One thing you should notice, for example, forest fires in higher temperature climates, you have more of a risk of having a forest fire. So it depends on the environment as well. So this is quite interesting. And again, it's something I want to explore and see how that might work. But what about you? Let me know what you think about these Dev Diary climate and seasons. We are on the 8th Dev Diary of a total of 13. We are getting there. We're getting closer to the release of the game. If you don't know when that happens, is in the 24th of October, and we are getting there. Very, very shortly, we will be able to play the game, and I can't wait for that. But keep the conversation on. Ask me questions in the comment sections. Join our Discord server, link in the description. We always talk about Cities Skylines, some other games, and we share our cities, questions, and things like that. You are more than welcome. It's a very family-friendly place, and everyone's very respectful and help each other quite a lot. And thank you everyone as well, and for all the patrons for the ongoing support. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.